And today's broadcast is brought to you by Eclectic Horseman Magazine. Stay tuned for Eclectic Conversations, hosted by Emily Gitchie.
Okay, thanks for joining me today. I am so excited to circle back and visit with Alex Parse about the Legends of Ranching horse program at Colorado State University and their upcoming sale. So thanks for taking the time today.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited to be back with a group of my students, and you get to hear some details for how class has been going.
Awesome. Well, I think I just want to jump right in and meet some of the students and have them tell me a little bit about the horses that they're going to be having in the sale.
Absolutely. Let me bring the phone over.
Okay. Well, my name is Kyra Wood, and I have 4 Rusty 124, or his bar name is Rusty. And he has been so great. I love him so much. I have all good things to say about him. I'm trying to think about challenges specifically. I think
could be balance.
Or like a success, like something that you feel really good about that's going on with him.
So many things. I think that the best, or one of my favorite things with Rusty this semester has just been how willing he is to do new things, and he has such curiosity for a 2-year-old. Just yesterday we were doing a small indoor trail course bareback, and he didn't even bat an eye at pool noodles or going over drain culverts, sidestepping off of a bridge while bareback, and just so hopeful. And you can see it in his face. He just wants to do everything and anything right by your side. As long as you're there, he's there with you for the ride.
Oh, awesome. Sounds like a really cool horse.
He's amazing.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
I forgot to mention, he's consigned by Haythorn Ranch.
Okay, perfect.
I'm Maya Lee. I'm a senior. I have Bar Rock and Beans Weaver's Twill. She is full siblings to last year's overall grand champion, Poto 21. She's a beautiful 15 hands bay roan. She's pretty perfect, and she knows it. No, she's been overall very steady. We have had some challenges with some work ethic, wanting to continue through the lope, especially recently after having a couple of days off with media day. But overall, it's just been such a great program, and I have been loving getting to know her, working together. Might be loving her a little bit too much. It's hard to not fall in love with these horses.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
I'm Lily Thomas. I'm a senior, and I am working with Boxo Ranch's Boxo Heavens Dixie. She is awesome. I think one of my favorite things about her is that she shows up to work every day. She loves coming in. She loves getting ridden. She's super consistent little gal. And I think I'm really excited to see how she does at the sale.
I'm Juliana Browder. I have Haythorn's Junebug. Her papers are pending. We'll get here, I'm sure. Harry promises. Junebug is, there's so many good things to say about her. I think she's one of the most patient young horses I've ever met. I'm a really big chatter and a big question asker. So there's many a moment in class spent with her just waiting for me to get my processing time done with. And she stands quietly, she waits, she doesn't nudge or anything. She's just wonderful. She's really gentle and kind. She has a really big interest in communicating with her partner. Like, she's always letting me know, like, if I'm not giving something quite right to her, like if I'm miscommunicating in any way, she's going to tell me, and then she's going to let me work it out very kindly. She's very forgiving, and she has so much try. Anything you ask her to do, she'll at least give it a go. She might have to tell you afterwards how she felt about that go, but she will give it a go.
That's awesome.
Hello, my name is Carter Ruman. I have Purina's Six's Tinkerbell, and we've had struggles like with some of the other classmates with work ethic, and Alex has been really great to help me through that and allow me not to get frustrated or get stuck anywhere. It's been a process, but she's a really sensitive mare, which kind of helps me out with letting me give her cues and then her picking up on them really fast and all that. And yeah, I've just been having a great time in class and learning about the culture of Western riding and everything else.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sahaley. I have a incredible gray gelding from Iron Springs Ranch named Bet. He's a kitty cat. And he's just been so much fun to figure out this year. Our biggest challenge by far is he's extremely athletic and flexible and loves to go where he pleases. So just on going where I think we should go.
That sounds like a fun problem to have if he's athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Looking at me. Look at that, look at how they're looking at me. Eyes all sticking like honey on bees. Yeah, look at that, look at how they're looking at me. DC chillin', PG chillin'. My name Wale and I came to get it.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bathan. I have Ken McNabb Horsemanship's 3-year-old pretty laney cat. She's a cute sorrel mare. Oh my gosh, what to say about Autumn? Her barn name is Autumn. There's so much to say about her. She's lovely. She came in rather unsure of people, so I think one of my greatest accomplishments with her this semester has been like tapping into her and getting her to build a relationship with me. I think that is so special about that horse, is that she loves to have a specific person and she responds really well off of that. With that being said, I think one of our greatest challenges that has started to come up is because she has felt comfortable with me at this point, she likes to share her opinions a lot. she likes to share her opinions and she's not afraid to share them, which I think is great. I think it's really important for me to have that kind of feedback from a horse. I think it's unique for a horse to be able to share that, but it's finding that shared opinion and that path for us to both go down where we can both find the agreement on what we're doing. Other than that, my background is in the hunter jumpers, and at the English Riding Club schooling show that we had a few weeks ago, she took first in her hunter under saddle class. So that was rather exciting, but also silly because she's supposed to be a Western horse, and here I am making her a hunter jumper on accident. So
I bet she had fun.
yes, she's a wonderful girl. So thank you so much.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
I'm Bryn Murphy. I have 35 Select Stocks Gravy Boat. He is our half draft. Well, he's 1/8 draft, but we call him our half draft because the draft, it does show. He's a good kid. I really love working with him. He's super kind. He's super willing. He really wants to give you the correct answer every time you ask. And so for me, I found that means like I have to be very confident and very clear in my cues and my aids and what I'm asking for and how I'm asking for so that he can give me that correct response because he really does want to. And so definitely finding now, like as we get into finer maneuvers and stuff, like he gets a little frustrated and I get frustrated if I'm not giving him that like easy to find the right answer right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Thanks.
I keep chasing that same old devil down the same old dead-end highway. Riding that storm on through my veins like a shot down tailspin airplane. Scared of nothing and I'm scared to death. I can't breathe and I catch my breath. But I keep chasing that same old devil down the same old dead-end highway. Ain't no love in Oklahoma, just a whistle of a long black train. You know when it's coming.
Okay, tell me a little bit about, like, give me a feel for what a sample, like, I know you guys have been together since what, August? So like, tell me a little bit about like where you started. Had the colts been handled? Tell me a little bit about where things got started. Who wants to be brave and start? Go.
Okay, so I think in terms of where the colts started, I think it was rather individual. Some of them had some handling or a decent amount of handling since they were young. Others, like if I'm thinking of Autumn, for example, she was like living on the backcountry. So there were some that had, I think Alex, you can correct me if I'm wrong, did we try to have most of them halter broke by the time the students came in?
There was an attempt, but we had haythorns come in. Being halter broke has many forms of definition in this class. and so I definitely will add that we had young horses that have never been haltered before, which were a good population of our haythorns, and then minimally handled and possibly just handled to get medical care done or health paperwork done to come to class. And then we had a small population that were definitely handled and good on the halter and lead.
Okay. Now tell me a little bit about like the variation, like did all of you have horse experience before you came, or like give me a sense of, okay, so everybody rode growing up and has had an interest in horses. Okay. And what are you guys going to do after this class, like with your horse experience?
I have a fun one. I'm going to be a registered dietitian.
Perfect. Cool. And any of you other folks want to go into the horse industry?
I do. I want to hopefully get a job or internship through Legends of Ranching with one of our consigners, preferably. 35 Select in Jackson Hole seems pretty cool. I know, I'm sorry. If only Todd Bean would let me have Weaver's Twill too. No. But I also have an interest in going to law school to work in like agricultural and equine law. But for a couple of years post-college, I need a break and I want to play with some horses.
Awesome.
I think for me, I'm really interested in extensions and education overall, specifically in like behavior and welfare, and just kind of putting out the good word of how our horses deserve to be treated and what is best for their mental health as well as ours.
I think I definitely want to stay in touch with the horse training. I have big dreams of, because of my hunter jumper background, I want to kind of combine the good horse relationship that I've gained in this class and bring that to the hunter jumper world. So I'd like to start, in theory, young warm bloods and then be able to send them off into that world with a good solid background and hopefully kind of bring this culture and idea to that segment of the industry.
Awesome. Very cool. Anybody else want to share where they're headed?
So like Sarah, I also have a background in more of the jumper world, specifically the eventing world. And I would actually like to go to vet school, preferably the CSU vet school. here in the next few years to go into orthopedic mobility and sports medicine, because I'm really fascinated on focus of the performance of these wonderful animals that allow us to work with them. And I think that that's just where my heart's always been, but it took quite a few years to find it.
Cool. Awesome. Venter, you must be crazy. No, a little bit. Yeah, very brave. Can you guys talk about what's going to happen at the sale in general?
Yeah, so April 26th at 9 a.m. is when we start the preview of all of the horses. And then at 1 p.m. promptly the sale starts. So in the preview, we get like the last glimpse of the horses. People are like, we want to bid on hip number 18 or whatever. And that's kind of the last time we're truly working with our young colts. Emotions are going to be high, but it's going to be so rewarding. And then at 1 p.m., we enter one by one into the sale ring and see where they end up and cry afterwards.
Yeah. I know. Like, have you guys ever sold horses before? Is this your first time having this experience?
I've sold commissioned horses in the past, but this will be my first time in a live auction setting.
I've sold 4-H steers and lambs, and that was really sad, but I think for a horse it's going to be different.
I have done a few horses. I've rehabbed, restarted from the ground up. It gets easier, it gets harder.
Yeah.
After a makeover, as well as the right first program.
It's a little harder, with it being the auction, because you don't get to meet the people who are going to take them beforehand. Like, hopefully, so we'll have time between the preview and the auction where like potential buyers can come into the barn and talk with us and learn more about the horses. And I guess you just kind of hope that one of those people you talk to that seems like a really good fit is going to be the one taking your horse. But there's no one coming to try them. There's no pre-purchase exam where you get to get really excited about the match. And so I think that's going to be a little harder on the heart, but we get to meet your big buyers. So
it'll be exciting to see like where our horses are going, like compared to like selling steers and stuff where we kind of know where they're going.
Yeah.
3 years that come back.
Actually pigs for FFA, and that was really tough. But somehow I think it does get easier the more you think about it as you build this relationship with this young horse, but the ultimate goal is to send them off with a really great start to a really great person and rider. So I think knowing that fact that we've set them up for success is going to make that a whole lot easier when we go to Salta.
Awesome. Good sentiment. Tell us a little bit, like, just give me a sense of like how the semester has gone. So you started these horses. Did you ride them every day? Did you have class every day? Are you all riding together all the time? Like, give me a little bit of an overview of how that works.
Well, we have class Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, but just about every single Tuesday, Thursday, we have extra hours as well, where Alex and our TAs will still be there, so we can still come out to ride. If the horses are riding, they are riding every day, as long as they're feeling good and up to it. Other ones who are moving maybe a little bit on the slower side, like mine. We introduced riding a little bit more slowly, but now she's up to riding every day. So once they hit that point of riding, they are going, and they're going well.
In terms of like classes, I think that we have like 3 different sections of class. So Alex is here basically all day. And we have 3 different sections. So there's a good number of us that I think in this group that all ride together, but then there's also some of us that are split into different sections. But that doesn't mean like during extra hours, anyone is welcome to come. So we do get to ride and see each other. And we also are all in the same barn. So we see each other. I'd say the class culture is pretty close.
That's so cool. So you've developed these incredible relationships with your horses, but I assume also with each other, and you guys are helping each other. Do you want to talk about like that? You guys visit about that a little bit.
So I actually have, there's another student in this class that's not here, but she's also my roommate. So it's an ongoing joke that we all just kind of live together. For some of us, it's quite literally, but I feel like at this point in this in this school year, we are just coming together as a family, helping each other out whenever someone needs it. If we need our stall to be covered, we can text the group like, hey guys, can somebody just cover my stall? I'll cover your feeding, vice versa. I think it's been such a great way to be immersed into this like major specifically. You get really close with these people because you see them every single day. And it's honestly so great. I've found so many amazing friends through here, lifelong, some people that we'll be hopefully working with together in the future too.
I think also Alex and the TAs have done a really good job, I don't know, helping us foster like a really positive, supportive community with each other. Like there's a really big emphasis on like being a listening ear for one another, lifting each other up when needed, making sure that like if you are giving critique, it's always out of a good place and that it's asked for. So it's a really wonderful, like safe place for learning. And this is a very vulnerable thing to learn. So the relationships have become so important, and yeah, wonderful people all around.
Lots of laughter.
So much laughter.
Like a whole different world. Like you can be doing whatever you're doing, and then you like walk in that barn and it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's nothing better than a good barn. Like the barn vibe is the best. Maybe would you guys have any thoughts on like, I mean, like horse people, like we're sort of this community, and we often, I don't like there's people in the outside world who maybe don't appreciate like what horses can offer. And so like, maybe you could just visit a little bit about like, what is it about horses, or what resonates with horses with you? What can you learn from them? Something along those lines. Do each of you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think for me, I am a pretty anxious individual in my being. And so horses have been one of the biggest teachers for me of just how to regulate myself better. It's so important to have a handle on your emotions, have a handle on your heart rate, and have a handle of like your mental space when working with them, so that you're not unloading your own stuff onto them, especially if you have a more anxious horse. So for me, as somebody who used to struggle, like some days it was hard to get out of the house because I was so stressed. Being with them and learning how to like really talk to myself and de-escalate and like take a true breath has been huge, and they've been the biggest teacher for that. Yeah.
I think this is not necessarily, so my background in terms of this, I had a horse one of my last few years of high school who I was finally my own. I had never had my own. I couldn't afford my own, and I made the big push and I worked hard and I acquired him. He was a lease, and he like, this is gonna sound so weird, and I don't mean it to. He like quite literally taught me what love is. Like that horse opened me up. And I opened him up, which is why I think I resonate with Autumn so much, because he was again one of those ones that was like, yeah, people, whatever. And then like his personality came out just like Autumn's has, and it's something that I find so beautiful. He taught me what it was to kind of like sacrifice parts of yourself for them. And I think it's so amazing to have that connection with an animal, and a horse especially, because like we don't talk, we don't speak the same language. You can't say like, hey Autumn, like how are you doing today? And she's like, I'm doing great. Like we can't have that conversation. And so it is a communication based off your body language and based off of like a shared relationship and understanding each other. And once you unlock that in them, and oh my gosh, it's like it's quite literally a hole in the world, which is why I say that the horse previously, Rod, he showed me what love was. I mean, of course, I love my family and I love my friends, but
yeah, no, but I hear you. I don't think it's weird. I think it's like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I could go on about it forever. I know, but yes, I think that's what's so special to me about horses.
I think they're also really good teachers about communication in general. I personally have a lot of issues, I think, communicating with people. So they've been a really good teacher about like, they don't have hidden intentions. They don't have hidden meanings to what they're telling you. It's all very straightforward. And I think being that way with people is actually really appreciated by people. Mm-hmm. And it's helped me kind of build, I think, better relationships with people through learning that way.
I think I'll say work ethic. My work ethic has always been really important to me. It's knowing when to be the first one to show up and the last one to leave. It's knowing how to keep going even when things are really, really hard, to make a commitment and stick to it. But then I also find for myself in my work ethic, it's knowing when I've taken on too much and when I need to take a step back to still put in the quality of work that I hold myself to and that standard. And this class has really shown like it's more than just being there all the time, all the time, all the time. It's doing a good job and saying, okay, like maybe I want to be better than yesterday, but today's not the same day as yesterday. So what can I do to put myself back in a good position instead of just ending frustrated, being upset, like what little thing can I work on? What little thing can I improve, even if I had it 2 weeks ago? And just the constant drive forward to learn and to just improve who you are as a person. I find that I get a lot in this class.
Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing, right? Like you guys are incredible. This is so cool. Alex, you're lucky you get to hang out with these guys.
I am.
I know, right? Anybody else want to share? You guys have some great ideas. This is so cool.
Yeah, I want to say maybe just a couple of small words to just bounce off what these guys have said. And one thing that I've really just like taken to heart, especially over the last couple of years, I moved 1,200 miles away from my family and everything I've ever known to come to school here. And all I had was my personal horse, Kip, and then now Rusty, working with him over the next couple of months. There's something about the unconditional love from these animals, and I think this can kind of go for all animals, but especially with horses, that is just so amazing. Like, I can have the worst day and feel like the worst person on earth, and I can come out here to clean my stall, and there's Rusty, big old doe eyes, just ready to say hello. He wants kisses and scritches, and it's just like, oh, well, today doesn't even matter anymore because I have this horse who looks at me and just wants love and who wants to just love me for who I am without knowing anything about me. And I think that is just so extraordinary and so special that there's no way I'm getting out of this industry knowing that is something that I can have.
Yeah. Okay. Good one. Yeah. Good. All right. I don't want to make anybody answer, but I don't want to, if anybody else wants to hop in. Everybody's good? Okay. I feel like I could ask you guys questions all day long and you have amazing answers, but I want to be mindful of your time. What question didn't I ask you about the program or about relationships with horses? Like if there was one thing that I should have asked you, what should I have asked you?
About how awesome Alex is.
Yes. Oh yeah, tell me about your teacher.
I say that not to be like, oh, we love Alex, but like truly it is something that is so, I think Juliana touched on it earlier. She creates such an amazing environment. And I think she has taken the LOR program and really made it that like legendary program. Yeah. Like, living up to its name. Like, oh God.
Like, I mean, I think she definitely did change this program. Last year was her first year, and we had record-breaking sales. And I have always enjoyed learning from her. She has a plethora of amazing things to say and so many important things to say that I take to her all the time. I think she's just such like a asset to this industry as a whole, especially the CSU. I think she is probably the best professor instructor I could ever ask for.
I think going into classes like this can be really daunting. You're putting yourself on the line, and if you're somebody who's a little more insecure like me, it's like it feels like your reputation could be on the line because it's like this isn't something I've done before or I'm comfortable with yet. And growing up not in like a horse family, it's like my mom worked for the city and my dad worked for Park and Fly, and I introduced them to their first horses, it can be scary to feel like you're not going to fit in and there's not quite going to be a place for you. But it's so, I don't know, it's just every day walking into class, it's like you feel more comfortable and you feel seen. Mm-hmm. It's like you can go to her and talk to her about anything, and she's going to be there with a non-judgmental ear.
And honest. I love it.
Yeah, give you the best advice that she can, and she truly is here to take care of you in a real way. And yeah, I don't know. It's so wonderful to feel like you belong, and so much of that is due to the environment she set up and the way she conducts herself with us.
And I think with that, like being able to tailor individually to each student
and
the horse, which is
there's to balance.
20 students, 20 horses, 40 sold or some odd individually, along with our TAs, and like I mean, I'll walk into class, I'll be like, Alex. I'm like, I am. So good at tailoring that to us and to what we need, but also furthering us and not just being, not being complacent with it or anything like that. So, yeah, I think she's one of the only instructors I've really had that I'm okay going to her and be like, I don't know how to do this, and I know I'm not going to be judged, and I know she will break it down as little as I need to understand it. I'm like, can you say what you said again? Because I didn't process that, and it's like everyone is saying, it's such a safe place and fun and the best part of my day.
It really reflects on the horses too. Like our attitudes and Alex's attitude, I don't know, it's like very consistent, like it's calm, it's relaxed, there's a learning space, and our horses are definitely comfortable learning just like we are.
Yeah. It's
that's awesome.
It's also so clear that each of us as students are seen as individuals. Like the other day, it was Alex's birthday, and a couple gals from my section and we were like, oh, okay, while she's out, we thought she was going to be out, we're going to decorate her office for her birthday. Then it turns out she's not going to be out, she's going to be in. And I'm getting text from Sarah being like, we need somebody to keep her busy, she can't find us. And I was like, okay, cool. That's me, let's go. And so I walk in and I corner her in the conference room, and I'm just like spitting questions at her for like 20 minutes. I think that was odd, but and we go, and finally they text and they're like, we're good. And I was like, oh yeah. Oh no, you guys, they come in and they go, somebody closed your door. I was like, what? And they were like, we think somebody's like in your office. And so we get there and we go in and it's a beautiful surprise. But she was like, the way that it worked is because Juliana always has it.
It was not out of the ordinary.
Each and every one of us, it's like I feel like she knows so well and is very observant to us despite the chaos of the class. She's still able to pay attention to each of us, understand how our minds work, and understand what we need to hear in certain moments due to our specific challenges and stuff. So, yeah.
She's so fair as well. Anything she asks us to do, she does herself. She doesn't ask us to do anything that she wouldn't do or put on the table for us to learn from. And as well, like her being a role model and showing up every day to class with just an open ear and I feel like an open mind as well, which is really rare, I think, to see in a professor, that you can ask a question and then you can question that answer that she gives you. And she will not be offended at all. She will just have a discussion with you, which is really helpful to understanding like the purpose of what you're being taught instead of just being asked to do it and doing it without question.
Awesome. I want to be in your class. This sounds so amazing. I want to dive into an idea you guys all touched on a little bit about like all the different personalities of the horses and the people. And being seen as individuals, and how do you and that carrying over to the horses, like how do you think the horses feel about being treated as individuals and not as like cookie cutter?
I think they thrive. Yeah, I think it puts them in the opportunity to build confidence and in a position where we can improve on the things that they're just naturally good at, and they thrive.
They're some of the most confident 3-year-olds that I've ever been around.
I think a huge part of this method of training is that it helps them learn how to learn.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, yes, it's like, I feel like a lot of times, or at least things that I've experienced earlier on in my career with horses, is like, we kind of throw them in the deep end and expect them to like figure it out. but it's like in this process, it's like we're laying out steps for them without babying them, and it gives them a chance to find confidence in themselves and also become problem solvers in a way that I didn't think they could be as 2-year-old horses. So I think it really equips them very well to take on challenges after us because they've been given the chance to learn that way.
I think they also just have fun, and with how Alex structures her class, we see that, oh, this horse is having an issue, let's break it down. We don't push them to the point where they're just like broken down inside, like, I'm just being complacent with you. We break it down to where we as riders, trainers understand it, and where them as horses can understand it, and where they feel like they have their own voice in each day. And I think that's also what really sets this program apart.
They're allowed to ask us questions as much as we ask them questions, and Alex questions.
And do you feel like was that a huge like shift from the horsemanship that you guys were around growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. I mean, the horsemanship I was around growing up, it was kind of like, oh, well, he didn't do that. I mean, it's not a knock on anyone necessarily, but it's not meant to be. But I think we so often are like, oh, he's not doing what I asked, now he's in trouble. And we have come in this class. I think it's important, and it's I'm trying to think of the word.
It's like dominating versus being like an effective leader.
Yes. Well, and we're asked to like be able to kind of like, what was I trying to say? Be like, okay, instead of, oh, you're doing this wrong and I'm upset about it, it's like, well, why? Why is this horse not able to understand what I'm asking, or why have we worked on this and it's not clicking? Like, what else do I need to do as the trainer and as the person, instead of like, just going back to that horse being like, oh, he's not doing it, and oh well, and I don't like it kind of deal.
Yeah. And it's like we have some horses who are super social with people, like mine's more social, but then there's like Autumn who are scared of people, and so different approaches, like one where a person's coming at you and it's like Autumn's gonna lose her mind, but you might be like, okay, so I think it gives them the fairest chance at a good future.
And do you feel like now, like, it's sort of like once you see the clarity and the results of working with horses this way, it's like you can't go back to doing things the other way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I was really lucky to grow up like training horses this way, but I think with Alex being so humble when I ask like, wait, why are we doing this? And like actually knowing the whole process, and the clinicians too that we bring in are incredible, so many different perspectives, and it's nice to know why.
Yes. That's cool. Maybe talk a little bit about like the importance of learning from a variety of sources.
I think in this industry, there's not just one way to train a horse. There's not just one way to saddle a horse. I think that we as upcoming trainers and professionals in this industry, we need to have an open mind about who we learn from, what we learn, what we don't want to teach, and what we like and dislike. And I think that's what's so important with having Alex bring in so many clinicians. And we also can just use them as contacts if we can in the future. We can use them as like, hey, I was in the Legends of Ranching class. Is there an internship opportunity that you guys have? Or I really liked you guys. Can I come work for you?
I also believe, I think us being the next generation, and of course our hope is to continue to make things better for horses and people alike. And I think the way that we can innovate our methods and our traditions almost is through going through and meeting so many different people who have different strengths and figuring out what you personally can execute best. Because it's like, I'm not going to be exactly the same as Alex, so it's like maybe I differ from her in how I round pen. And then David Garish comes in and I'm like, oh, this is how I get it. This is what clicks, I think it gives us the opportunity to, number one, break the status quo a little bit, because everybody is doing things so differently, but also so well in so many different ways, and also personalize our own styles so that we have the biggest toolbox that we can to help the horses that we meet afterwards.
And I think, like, to put it as simply as, like, for me, the way I think about it is that, like, like one clinician might say something one way, and I'm like, I think I get what you're saying, but I think I don't, because when I actually go to put it into practice, I struggle.
versus like maybe Alex or another clinician comes in and they say the exact same thing, but with a slightly different verbiage or wording to it. And I'm like, oh, I get it, and I can do it, and I can practice it, and it makes sense, and the auto understands it, and it's, so even though it's all the same, some of the times they're saying the same things, they're still bringing different wording or examples of it into play, and that alone can make a concept click for someone.
I totally agree. Like no matter where you're from or where you're going, there's something you can take, like learning from everyone.
Yeah.
Getting to pick and choose between what you choose to put forth throughout your time as a horseman or horsewoman, sorry.
Carter's our only gentleman in the class. I'm going to add to that. I try to be very strategic, Emily, about my clinicians, where they follow the same types of horsemanship. So I'm not doing things that become confusing because different cultures of horsemanship do different things. So I do try to align and network within the culture of the natural horsemanship. And so hopefully the students do see that resonate in the clinicians. And on Friday, we have Steve and Amy Lissatz coming in.
Oh, yay. Well, say hi to Steve and Amy. They're awesome.
I will.
Yeah. Cool. Well, okay. You guys are way too fun to talk to. I could pick your brain all day, but
The implementation of more social media presence has been very important to having this class be recognized and seen on different types of platforms. So we do have a Legends of Ranching Performance Horse Sale Instagram and Facebook, and these students just spent an entire day on Monday sales prepping their young horses for what we call hype videos. So it's a very short video of themselves and their young horse getting started to be marketing these young horses. So those will start coming out the first week of March, and you'll get to see each student and horse pair individually, and maybe one catches your eye. But yes, I think the social media piece of following us and following along, I'm very open about our horsemanship and what we do in class and all the clinicians that come in.
fantastic. Well, I'll be sure and include the link to the socials down in the description, and then folks can follow along. And yeah, again, thank you so much for taking the time, and I can't wait to come to the sale.
Yay. Thank you so much, Emily.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.